But I got dropped off the car. I got my car back. Drove around a lot. Listened to Bullfights on acid. I did the drive test. It's terrible. I loved it. Um,
But the band is not Armchair Cowboy. It's Wolfwhistle.
it is.
And as you can see on the screen, Wolfwhistle, that's you and me, Kev, have a new album out, a new EP of 5 tracks. And we're going to waste a little bit of time going through it and giving these tracks a fair shake in the traditional way that we've done with tune scores with other people's songs. But with the added benefit of we were the songwriters and or performers on these, so we'll get to share for posterity. Hopefully you're actually recording this time. We'll get to share for posterity the stories behind these songs in the rare instance that anybody ever hears them or enjoys them later on and wants to know the story. They'll get the full.
People will hear it for sure. Whether or not they enjoy it, that's
if you play
matter.
it loud enough, Kev,
Altogether.
that's true.
Yeah.
So earlier you'd mentioned something about, I'm always doodling and coming up with wacky artwork. Well, let's give an informal rating to my artwork here for the
brilliant. Genius.
Genius. It's my favorite thing I've ever done. The songs you're all about to hear, not so much. But let's go ahead and start off with track 1, The Object. And we'll play it and we'll just talk over it. I think that's okay.
Yeah, that's good. Nobody's listening to this shit anyway.
I wouldn't say that I sound sane there, but I'll definitely sound more insane throughout the course of this song.
That's true. I think it was good. I have a little fill between that doesn't work.
Huh? Almost in sync there.
I think we get it the third try.
In absence, grows the mind for tired. Memories take all different angles. What do hearts had once conspired?
I'm getting tired. I'm petering out.
I imagine the whole thing is getting slower in tempo.
Yeah,
as we go.
We're probably really drunk. I think we nail it on this third one here.
When all is said, the moment stutters.
Hey.
It's my favorite lyric.
That's good.
As it fills with sentiment. But from this it might recover. And be object of my affection, and you the
How?
object of my obsession.
Yeah, that third
Oh,
the third way through, the third time through, the final playthrough, you've got the vocals over that part where usually it's just the drums. And really, for whatever reason, we clicked right there, and everything was like on time. It was perfect. So if only we could have done that the first 2 times, that would have been great. Are we going to give it a tune score? I know we already kind of listened through these, kind of looked at our tune score, but it would be nice to kind of go back through and see if we agree with it or if we changed our mind.
yeah, I was thinking that would be the most appropriate thing to do. So we have already technically in our dry run, non-recording of doing this, we did give the ratings. So, all right, do you want me to tell you what we rated something, and then just see if we agree, or
Yeah, that's fine. We don't have to like
Okay.
cut to it or anything. We don't have to share. it.
Okay. So melody here, 7.
Boo, boo, doo, boo, doo, boo, boo, doo, boo, doo.
That
Yeah,
I mean that should have been a baseline, and if I were rewriting it now, I would use the actual chords rather than just breaking them down and implying them with that baseline. And it's not even a baseline and playing it on the guitar.
Mhm.
That would be the bass. I would orchestrate other things, but that is a strong melody.
Mhm.
I think a 7.
7's
It's-
fair.
6, not the best lyrics.
Yeah.
Not
Oh.
the worst. I mean, I do think they're strong. I think they're better than like the average pop song, but very, very different than the average pop song, because this is not mainstream popular, doesn't have good hygiene,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with a 6 there. Rhythm,
I'd say for lyrics, let's
you would
knock
say
it down to
below
5.
average.
I would say knock it down to a 5. The reason I would say that is because, like, not only
I know
do
what
the
you're
words
trying to do.
sabotage.
You're trying to sabotage 4 of the songs so that your favorite, track 2,
Yeah,
will be the highest rated,
Yeah.
even if its rating is still pretty low.
it's still the best one. But I would say the lyrics to this are good. I think if I were gonna give you any feedback, I would just say more attention to cadence and rhythm of the lyric delivery, and like where words end and where they kind of fit in. I think your actual vocal delivery is great, but
Well,
just
we'll
making
talk.
them
Hang on,
snappy,
we'll talk about
you
that.
know. All right, go ahead.
You're
And
wrong,
then rhythm.
and you're wrong, and I'm keeping the lyrics at a 6.
I would. How about this for arrangement, which we're gonna give it a high score. I think this was probably pretty decent. But like you could start with it more tight in the first one, and then kind of get loose, cadence wise and vocals wise throughout, because you're trying to sound more crazy.
Yeah.
That would be good. All right, that would be a good arrangement.
Great note there, Kev.
I mean, it's too late now. Who gives a shit?
For the rhythm, we rated it a 7.5. I do really like the drum pad. It's this driving groove that gets more intense on the second half of bars, at the second half of sections, stuff like that. I think it's a really strong driving rhythm.
The delivery was not great, but the
We'll
idea was
talk
there.
about how bad our performance was in a minute. Harmony, excuse me. I think the chord progression is not just a typical pop progression. There's something a little bit more to it. I think it fits and it layers, and I didn't even have to layer stuff. Like there's a strong implied harmony from the root note of everything that I'm playing in that lead guitar. Like, what chord I'm on, and it just flows so nicely.
All right.
That said, it's only a 5.5.
Okay. Agreed.
So we've got for our performance accuracy out of 6.
2.
We said 5 last time. I don't know how. I don't know
I
how
would
the
say
fuck that
it's
happened.
pretty close. No, I would say it's pretty close. Drums are behind, but like if I had to do it again, I feel like we could snap them in, and they would be great. If we had to record and we could snap them in, that would be great.
Oh yeah, if we just program.
Yeah.
So we've learned how to do a lot more of that performance stuff. Whatever. I'll keep it at a 5. It's not bad. This is one of our better performed tracks on this EP.
That's why it led.
So, it's a shame to say. The feel, we rated that a 6, I think, because of the insane vocal delivery, the power of the drums. That is a really intricate guitar part.
Yeah.
Probably the most complex guitar part you're going to hear on this rundown.
Right.
Okay. The mix, like with all of this,
mono.
It's not quite mono. You can hear like whatever Kevin's doing is slightly to the right, whatever Carrie's doing is slightly to the left, and except for my vocals, which are all right down the middle. It's just, but with a duo and very little overdubbing, you'll find on the whole thing. That makes sense. It's a true. I mean, it's like you're sitting right there, watching Kevin lose his kick drum pedal. So we rated that a 4 out of 6. Arrangement, 4 out of 6. It's the same series of sections, just repeated thrice for the most part. It's not terribly inventive. It's not quite up to snuff for mainstream standards. Now,
it does have good changes, though. Like, I think that's fair. I think that has some changes in there from the verse to the chorus, and just like differentiating like the rhythm between the two, and I think it breaks it up nicely. So yeah, 4 is fair.
All right. So now
emotion
out of 16, we said 11.
That's fair. Just missed me.
All right. Innovation, 1 point out of 4.
I think all your stuff is innovative, at least.
And that was the argument I think that we made is like, Kev, you said, Carrie, nobody writes like you do because everyone else has talent or something like that, I think you said. This one I think is maybe a little bit more maybe it was on this one or maybe on She Sets the Pace. Excuse me. We talked about writing your failures, because this is kind of a failure song.
Yeah.
As far as a relationship or a prospective relationship goes. So as She Sets the Pace, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that on the same track 4. Repeat listenability. I still, that guitar, those drums. I'm still sitting 12 out of 16, 3/4 credit.
All right, that's fair.
All right. So The Object by Wolfwhistle gets a sound appraiser tune score of 6.9 out of 10.
That's very generous of us.
Very, very generous. Just wait till you see what Kev does on this next one. This is track 2, the old Binge and Purge blues, and I should just give a little public service announcement. Don't binge, and if you do, don't purge. I wrote this nearly 20 years. Well, eating disorders and people's connection or relationship to food. No, I'm not.
I don't think that's what you're talking about, though. So that was my point in
yeah, no, there's no
horrible statement was that like that's not what this song is about, and if that's what you think it's about, well, you're just wrong.
But still, as far as content warnings or trigger warnings go, like I wrote this almost 20 years ago. I wrote this song because I like the way the Binge and Purge sounded together.
Yeah, it's a good lyric
without any thought to the danger that can be associated with that as an action.
I'm mad at you for this because I this is very like, this is as punk rock as we get, and like if punk rock has to censor itself, then like the whole world should just we should get rid of it. There's no point in it anymore. Punk rock is very just like doesn't matter what, it should be offensive, it should be rock and roll, man, like fucking damn the man and shit.
Well, maybe I want to do my punk rock like Henry Rollins and Black Flag, straight edge,
polite punk rock.
Whatever. Let's just play the.
We're worried
song.
about your feelings. This is a song about drinking, I think, which is also another thing. Crank it.
It's time to binge, time to purge. Now that we're on the verge of what's so deep, the promise I keep, I'm gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah, fuck.
Love it. We love explicit lyrics.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Just missed it on that lead, that turnaround.
Just missed it. Just outside.
It's time to binge, time to purge. Just before we diverge from some kind. Maybe you won't mind when I fuck shit up.
I love the big bopper vocal delivery.
Hello, baby.
Oh, that's clean, dude. Just the
That was
I
good.
love that. Surprisingly good for us.
I hate this guitar tone though.
No, it's good. I love that. It sounds like
Now
a
it's
great
time
train.
to emerge and finally
That sounds like a pretty.
find a surge. Our hearts skip a beat, but I still
I still.
fuck shit.
Good.
Don't chug it. Not all at once. It's Grandpa's cough medicine.
Nice.
All right. Let's see how we scored this one. I don't think that is a better song than track one.
That's absolutely a much better song. That should be like 10 points more.
If I could have played, because you could play The Object, track one, you could play that faster. I couldn't with that riff.
Yeah,
if I
fair.
could have played it faster, I think maybe it would have been.
They would be neck and neck, I would say.
All right. Well,
closer.
we rated probably on the strength of my vocal melody, I would say, rated the melody a 7 out of 10 on the old Binge and Purge blues.
Yeah.
Lyrics at a 6, even though that is some of the lowest effort.
30 minutes it took him to write that song.
Fuck, more like 30 years. Rhythm, I think easy 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
That is a really strong drum part there.
It fits well.
Harmony. There are some interesting things going on with the chords. Not too much. I throw in a half diminished chord in the main riff. We've got some runs up, runs down, mostly within the key. 7 out of 10. Accuracy. You heard I pointed out at least one of my fuck ups where I played the turnaround and it just missed it by that much. Rated the accuracy at a 4.5 out of 6. The feel, again, though, 6 out of 6 for this one. And this one, by the way, the instrumental part, the drums and guitar, had been recorded back in 2013 with the rest of all this, but I did not have the vocal on it. So even though I had written the lyrics, this is like an orphan MP3 track, whatever. I found it, and so I added the vocals earlier this summer, which is about the most work that I've done all summer. Get the big bopper going there. A mix, again, 4 out of 6, and the arrangement of 5 out of 6. It's pretty standard for a nice pop punk song or whatever you wanted to call it.
Whatever it is, yeah.
All right, let's talk appeal.
Rockabilly-ish.
Emotion. We rated this 9.5 out of 16.
I think that should be higher, actually, because like if you're going for
what emotion? Hey, Kev, it's time to binge and it's time to purge.
Yeah.
Finally find that surge.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a fuck you, or like let's do this. You know, I feel like there's something there. It's not deep, the emotion. It's just that need to like, yeah, let's fucking rage. That's what the emotion is, and it's very simple. It's very straightforward. That's it. That's all. But it delivers that effectively in the energy that's delivered in the piece. I think that's fair. I think it's a good.
So what do you think? Like 11, 12?
I'd give it like
just
17,
hit you, just missed you.
17
out of 16.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like across. I would give it at least a 12. Give it a 12. You disagree, but I think that's a straightforward.
No, I mean I
emotion.
get. I feel like that's an argument. That's a well articulated argument.
Thank you.
It's not
what happened? I blacked out.
It's not a specific emotion, but it amps you up.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do that. I've never heard anything like it, and I wrote the damn thing. So 1 point out of 4 for innovation. It's like the extra credit.
Uh-huh.
Repeat listenability. 14 out of 16.
Yeah,
is
for
what
sure.
we had said in our first run through. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's a crying shame. But there you have it. The old Binge and Purge Blues comes in at a whopping 7.55
Fucking excellent.
on the Tune Score scale.
Yeah.
And it would be nothing without your drumming.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Now, actually, it would still be pretty good.
Yeah, it'd
without
be
your drumming.
fine. Nobody would notice, really.
Totally not the way I would do it now. Like for being something I wrote in like 2002, and something we recorded in 2013. If I were to redo it now, totally different. Totally different.
How?
I would orchestrate. I would arrange for multiple instruments. I'd have 2 guitars. I'd have a bass. The bass would carry that boom, 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 boom. That main riff. Play some actual chords. Play some actual leads, rather than just being the one guitar. The drums would stay the same.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like. I mean, you do the best you can with what you got. It reminds me a lot of like Brass Tacks, or what's the name of that song we reviewed? Coin Operated Boy by
The Dresden Dolls.
Dresden Dolls. It reminds me of Dresden Dolls a little bit. You know, different style, but like, you know, it's about maximizing, you know, taking 2 people and making it as interesting as you can. I feel like we didn't do a great job at that, but like we're learning. So
I
feel like we could. Big shots now.
Unrealized potential.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of unrealized potential, this is the weakest track. Also, I think it's the longest. Track 3, Suspended Animation.
Sandwiched in the middle. It's a good sandwich for this album.
It's not like a double stuff. Like this is a regular Oreo. You're not getting much cream on this.
Just a thin layer in there.
But we threw in some bits, some recording outtakes, some of our banter. So enjoy. It's an instrumental, by the way. I should probably say.
Okay, mic check. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di, do. Okay, sounds good, fellas.
I like hyena laugh. That's a good joke. It's very haunting, I gotta say. I like this track.
There's a little bit of ambiance.
And the guitar sounds great.
I actually kind of like this guitar tone. It was a not so subtle edit, I think, right then. Your splice. And it's basically just this riff for the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, get comfy, settle in. This is what we're gonna be doing for the next 3 minutes.
I love that drum part. And if we could do it now with like multiple microphones and a drum set, but do that on multi-tracks, so that those toms like pan around the mix, but not here. That guitar tone is not so.
I love it. I love it.
Second verse, same as the first. I'm suspended animation. Oh, I love that drum.
Prompted. That's where the bass pedal probably wiggled away from me at some point during that.
It's a frequent occurrence.
Strong finish. That's nice. That's very nice.
Hey!
Sorry. Oh no, it wasn't that.
That's good. I didn't realize you sandwiched it between two little outtakes there. That's fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I had to have something good in the song. Now, for the record, that was the way we played it.
Yeah.
And we have multiple other examples of how we played it back then. Some of them were even we did that one was in E flat minor. We had another one in B flat minor that I played on the baritone guitar that I think was about as good, but they were all around that tempo. What I really wanted to do was take this and spread it out, just slow it down by 20 to 30%, which would make it longer, but it would give it a heavier like sludge. It would be the sludge mix. And Kev, you wouldn't allow me to do that. I think your excuse was, isn't it bad enough we're already giving them 3.5 minutes of this version? You want to give them 5 or 6 of a different one? Yeah.
No, my
But
point.
I think it would work as a sludge mix for the kind of people who would listen to sludge mixes of songs.
Sludge people, really. The reason I didn't want you to do it, honestly, subconsciously, I was probably like, the drums are so bad that if you slowed it down, it'd be much more apparent, like that we're not together at all. So that was my selfish reasoning for not wanting you to do that.
Even that's debatable. But let's talk about all of it. Let's start off with the melody, which it's a nice enough 4 or 5 note melody, but it gets repeated into the ground.
You're sick of it after 3 minutes.
With only a few variations. Melody 5 out of 10. Lyrics, mercifully there weren't any, so 5 out of 10. That's the default for instrumentals. Or if it's in a foreign language and we really can't tell what it is. But that hasn't really come up since Infinita Tristeza.
Mm-hmm.
The rhythm, not quite as good, I would say, as the old Binge and Purge blues, but still an 8 out of 10. Harmony, because the melody implies some chord changes, a 5 out of 10. Just pretty standard, pretty low effort. The accuracy at a 3 out of 6 for a performance. It wasn't awful, but I think not having vocals over it makes it more apparent. Not having something else. If it's just that one guitar and just the drums, it's much more apparent how unsyncopated we are. Feel, there's not even that much feel. This 4 out of 6, so not good for the performance. Production mix 4 out of 6 as usual. Arrangement, this is a very uninspired arrangement except for the placement of the bits, so 3 out of 6.
Don't disagree with any of these numbers.
Emotion is mixed at half credit, 8 out of 16 because it's mixed emotions because
it's haunting.
It could be kind of haunting. It could have a little bit of ambiance, but at the end of the day,
it has a little energy to it, a little pep. When it changes, when it changes.
You think that, but
No. That's pretty good.
So
it's like
rated half credit there. Nothing for innovation. I refuse to give any innovation credit on this. Fine. Repeat listenability is just ever so slightly higher than half credit at a 9 out of 16.
I listen to it repeatedly on my way to She Sets the Pace when I'm listening through the album. I have to stop there and keep going. So
I took a detour at suspended animation. I ended up at Giant Steps. This one, a little ashamed to have the wolfwhistle brand on it. 5.4 out of 10 on the tune score scale.
Yeah, we had to round out the album, so there's nothing else to throw in there really.
Well, it had to be. I mean, you have to have some filler, or else it's the Killers. All right, let's move on to track 4. She Sets the Pace, which is about the same. I wrote it about the same woman as The Object is written about. Let's see if she really does set the pace.
She takes the high road and never has to go alone. He walks a fine line and thinks that it is sublime.
Little half verse to start out with. Innovative.
They share a smile and cigarette. These the days they won't forget. With a peck on the cheek, she mocks a man. It's a gesture that he might
still love that line.
understand, but too nervous or shy to make his move. Well, maybe
fucked up my
he
delivery.
wants what he's got to prove. 100 times he states his case, but she's the one who sets the pace. Grace and style make it turn. Her politesse makes his heart burn. The chemistry.
Did I make you play with brushes on this one?
Always. I'm too loud.
Touch.
Somebody take this tambourine
She
away
never
from me.
meant to have this effect. The love she feels is merely
I like the solo though
respect
coming
for a
out.
man who made her laugh and more. He cannot win as she keeps score. Perhaps it's nature. He sees her all, but as time goes by, the images soften and waking moments and dreams as well. Plain to see he's under her spell. Grace and style make it turn. Her politesse makes his heart burn. But chemistry means only so much. They never explore the physics of touch.
Wow, that is a nice solo.
Pretty close.
I hope it lasts all the way
Like
through
that.
the next wordless chorus. Yeah, I should have.
Kept going.
I should have written. I only wrote it for that part.
It's fine.
Or I should have just sung over this chorus, or just not included it.
There's only a dull sensation. There
Wow,
can
Act
be
3 of
no
the whole thing's the whole
hesitation.
relationship's
So they
fucked
go
up.
their separate ways. Neither heart is ablaze. She takes the high road. This time she goes alone. He walks a fine line and knows that it is a crime. Grace and style make it turn. Her politesse made his heart burn. The chemistry meant only so much. They never explored the physics of touch.
It's like you always had to have the last word.
We're always
on the
fighting
drums.
back and forth who's gonna have the last sound on the track.
When really it didn't matter. I could have just faded it out.
Yeah. I like that song actually too. So like I would say for me it's probably gonna be, if I had to rank them, it'd be 2, 4, 1. So I feel like I don't know if She Said should have been in the first position on this album, but we debated this.
What, the object, you mean?
Yeah, I like The Object, but I think She Sets is much more interesting. There's a lot more going on than that one.
Yeah, I think so. I think the reason why we chose The Object to lead off,
The cleanest recording.
it was arguably the cleanest recording, but also it felt like the most energetic.
Yeah.
Without being the Binge and Purge blues, because that has explicit lyrics, and I didn't want to lead off with that.
Okay.
So, all right, melodically, especially that solo.
Hey,
My God! Finally, a guitar solo that I don't know. I don't know if that makes you feel anything, that guitar solo, but I love it.
it's crunchy. It's like it's got a weird.
It's one of the first ones that I
disharmonic
ever wrote. Yeah, I think what happened was I think I played the song when we recorded it together, probably on like a Friday or Saturday night. I think I was playing my standard tuned guitar, like a half step down, so it would have been in G sharp minor. But then the next day when I overdubbed the solo, I think I played it on my baritone, which would have put it in E flat minor for the solo. So that's why, because I can hear that dissonance too, but I didn't care. I liked it.
I like it. It sounds great.
It's because it's just a fourth away. It's not that far off.
Yeah. I still feel
Or
like,
maybe it's all good. I don't know.
You stopped it too short. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is like it's great. Like the notes are great. I feel like I want more rhythm with it, you know, or more emptiness. In fact, even than you already had. Like the tones were great. The notes were perfect.
Like Pink Floyd in Money. You know?
I can't think of the solo right now.
Yeah, I can't think of the solo.
Hum it for you. Just made that up, didn't you? Hum it for
well, David Gilmour is known for letting notes ring.
Yeah, give it time. Let it sink in before you get to the next thing. It's still really great. I love it. It's good.
I was really going for the old gypsy jazz style.
Is that
in this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the tambourine's there a lot. No, it's because we couldn't take it away from you for whatever fuck reason.
that's probably a big part of it.
It's like, no, we gotta have the tambourine.
So, all right. So melody, 7 out of 10. Okay. Lyrics, I have like some of my favorite lyrics. You know, they share a smile and cigarette. These are the days they won't forget. That's still one of my favorite lyrics that I've ever written. Peck on the cheek, she marks her man. I still love that. You know, the chorus, I still like a lot of that. The wordplay that I was trying to do, you know, 13, 15 years ago. It's the same kind of shit that I'm still trying to do. But that was I think a rare hit because it's a song about failure.
Again, good.
It's a song about failing to make that connection with somebody you think you should have that connection with.
Yeah. You can't force it.
You know, you gotta shoot your shot. But I'll tell you, I've had a lot of misses in my search for a missus.
Well put.
So
I like politesse. Good word.
Seldom used.
Yeah, I like those. I like hearing words that you haven't heard in a long time or before. Having to look it up and all that. And then there was something else I wanted to say, but we'll skip it. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, let's keep going.
I'll think of it while you're talking, and I'll interrupt you.
Rhythm, I think I made you play a little more restrained.
Good.
On Somebody this one, because I wanted to have the guitar solo. I wanted
the vocals
to have
should be the highlight.
The lyrics be the highlight.
Yeah.
So rhythm, though, 7 out of 10, still excellent. Harmony, nothing too special there. We rated it a 6.5 out of 10. I think we could go up to 7.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
You wouldn't begrudge me that? All right, performance. We rated the accuracy to 3.5 out of 6.
I think it's pretty closer to 4. At least.
Yeah,
the drums are way off. The drums they're not way off. What it is just the sounds. Because we have that tambourine in there, I'm not hitting it in the right spot. So I'm hitting it like a note before it should be played. And it's sounding like it's off kilter. And it is because of that, I think. So I'm misutilizing that accent. So.
No, I disagree. I think it was fine.
All right.
The feel on this one, pretty standard, 5 out of 6.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. All right. So the production, the mix, and the arrangement. I thought the mix is a little bit better on this one.
The arrangement's better on this one.
And the arrangement slightly. Excuse me. Well, we rated it 4.5 on each, but I'm kind of thinking 4 and 6. 4.5 and.
Yeah, that's fine. Take the mix down to 4. The arrangement up to 6. The 6, it can't be 6 though, because there's that solo part that's missing. It's got to be a 5, 5.5.
Well, it's a wordless chorus. Like I wrote it to be a wordless chorus. That was a conscious decision at the time.
That was stupid.
In hindsight, 7 years later, 8 years later, yeah, it was a fucking mistake. It was a bad decision, but it was my decision at the time.
And you learn from it.
To have that be a wordless chorus.
All right.
Given the opportunity now, I would extend the solo. I probably wouldn't do all the tricks that you recommend. I'm not David Gilmour.
That's fine. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. No, it's good though.
All right, let's talk appeal.
We can legitimize anything. All right, go ahead.
You can write a song about anything. Sliding glass door. All right, innovation, 1 out of 4. Again, haven't really heard much like it.
Of course not.
It's kind of a gypsy pop.
Before or since.
Yeah. Okay, emotion. Actually, emotion and repeat listenability, out of 16 each, both of them got 13, was where we were at.
Deal.
Okay. So this is now a 7.5 out of 10 on the Tune Score scale.
Binge and Purge.
A mere half a point below the old Binge and Purge blues.
That's fair. Again, 2, 4, 1 are my order if I had to pick.
Well, hang on. We're not done yet. We still have a sweet encore left. Well, Kev, before we get into that sweet encore, I think it's important for us to let the folks at home know that this new album, this new EP, Bullfights on Acid by Wolfwhistle, that's us, is now available for sale or streaming wherever shitty MP3s are available. You've got your Spotify's, your Pandora's, your iTunes, your Apple Music, your Google Play store, your Amazon Music store, pretty much everything but YouTube, which I'm working on getting it onto that platform. I think I know what I did wrong. It should be okay soon. But it is out there, so if you want to listen to any of the tracks or the whole album in its entirety without listening to these two chuckleheads talking over the recordings, you might just enjoy it a little bit more. But if you don't enjoy this, one, why are you watching? And two, you're probably also not going to enjoy the actual album. But let's go ahead and move into track 5. It's Sweet Encore. This one is, by the way, much different. I should just explain. It's much different compared to the first 4 tracks, all rockers with their drums and their guitars. This one is different in 2 ways. One, it is the only collaboration from a writing standpoint, because it started out as a piano ballad by Kev. I liked a couple of the lines and the piano work, so I stole it and repurposed it for my own benefit. I wrote it about a different ex-girlfriend than the other songs on the album. But it is a collaboration, a co-writing deal, and we'll try and point out. Kev, you should point out which lines when we're playing it that you wrote, and which ones you would never take credit for. I've since rewritten it entirely, but this was already recorded, so I haven't done anything with that. And it's a croony piano ballad, so it is much different, and that's why it's at the end of the album. But without further ado, here's Sweet Encore. That's beautiful. It sounds regal.
Well, this ain't romantic season like the one in all your dreams. Still you race on broken seams and overlook my every treason. Well, it seems that you're no stranger to a stranger in the dark. Yeah, you've got that kind of spark
That was
to
you.
diffuse inherent danger. You've learned so very much from your solar punk heyday. Now you find exciting ways to expand electric touch. You control your depth of burn, but apply excessive heat every time I'm at your feet, awaiting your newest turn. 'Cause baby, you're not the devil I used to be.
Baby, you're not the devil I used to be. That hook or refrain, Kevin wrote that, and it is the best part of the song.
Valentine's like what your sisters promised. Still you show a morbid interest, overlook homemade paradise. Well, it seems that you're no victim to a victim of my glance.
I think victim of my glance
got
is
that
you.
kind of dance to navigate my system. Well, you've learned some new conventions from your cabaret weekends. Now you try to make amends to refute mere intervention. You controlled your self-denial, but applied excessive love every time I called you dove and awaited your final trial. 'Cause baby, You're not the devil I'm meant to be.
Also, it's an old song. You can tell because we use the word baby.
Well, if you want
Oh, here's the
sweet
bridge.
encore, I'll cheerfully oblige.
Right
Which
at
I
the-
think
You'll
it was
realize
my
it's
idea to have a
ecstasy
bridge.
galore. I'm sure I'd tempt you maybe, but
I think these are
you
my
do it to me
chords.
too. How we know it to be true. 'Cause, baby,
Sure, I tempt you, maybe.
we're not the devils that we used to be.
I think I wrote this after "Call Me Maybe" was a big hit. Yeah, most songs don't have the bridge at the end. What do you call that? A bridge to nowhere?
Yeah. Hey,
there-
we did it.
And there you have it. So that's Sweet
905.
Encore. Let's see how we would rate this
Sure.
if we had the chance, and we do, because we're not just musicians, we're also sound appraiser.
Mm-hmm.
All right, melody out of 10, 9.
Nice.
I think all that melodic work on the piano, even a little bit of my crooning, like the way it meshes together, melody is a 9. I think it's strong. Lyrics, I said I think my rewritten version would get like an 8 out of 10, but these are a 7.
Yeah.
Solar Punk Heyday is stupid. Cabaret Weekend is brilliant. Victim of My Glance, even though neither of us will really take credit for it, I like it.
That's okay.
I like it. Baby, You're Not the Devil I Used to Be. Rhythm, you play piano, Kev, I think, like a drummer. It's a percussion instrument, you always like to say. Of course, you should try using your hands instead of drumsticks next time. But still, a strong rhythm. That's not necessarily what this song's about. 7.5 out of 10, I think. And harmony, we had rated this at a 6.5 out of 10. Just kind of middling score there, because it is sort of repetitive until you get to the bridge at the end, which is just wacky. Rock performance. 5 out of 6 for both accuracy and feel. That's what I'm thinking.
I think that's fair to say. Yeah.
That's like a
That's pretty
good.
close.
That's
really good for us.
that puts us about on par with Adele, Someone Like You.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we should go there.
All right, let's talk production. The mix, again, like most of these songs, 4 out of 6. You know, it's not a great mix, but there's not much to mix. Arrangement, I actually really like having the bridge at the end. All the way through. I mean, I think this is a professionally arranged song. And it would be if either of us were professionals, like meaning people would pay us to do this kind of thing. But rated at a 5 out of 6 for arrangement. So pretty strong work there. Never heard one like it before or since. So 1 point out of 4 for innovation. That's the little extra credit bit. All right. Emotion. We had rated this at a 12 out of 16. You still agree?
Yeah, I think we're on to something here. I think it's fair. Like we're almost there. 12 is pretty good.
Yeah. And repeat listenability, like I still think this is a kind of a standout. Maybe because it is so fresh and different compared to the other tracks. Yeah. 13 out of 16.
Okay, right on.
So overall, we rated Sweet Encore 7.5 out of 5. 7.5 out of 10 on the tune score scale, meaning that it's tied for second place with She Sets the Pace. But like the cherry picked track off this album is the old Binge and Purge Blues.
Yep.
At a half credit, a tenth of a point higher at 7.55 out of 10. Barely eked it out for the win. I disagree.
Stole the show.
I don't like it.
Best one.
But there you have it. That's been Bullfights on Acid. We've been Sound Appraiser. Make sure you go and check out the Bullfights on Acid record someplace where you want to listen to music. You can see more of our work either as Wolfwhistle or as Kev's Imagine If We Tried to Write a Song a Week. I'll link our YouTube channels in this video. And you can also check out more of our music reviews either on the Sound Appraiser YouTube channel or on soundappraiser.com. But we've had a lot of fun today, and we hope you did too. That's been Kevin Niebrick. I've been Carrie Nightingale. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay sound.